My brother and I married the two sisters of the Lin family at the same time. My brother didn't hesitate to pick the cold but gorgeous younger sister. While I was forced to marry the ugly, quiet older sister, everyone said my life was totally over. But 3 years later, my brother was plagued with all kinds of illnesses and ended up living in the slums. He had no sons or daughters at all. His whole family fell apart and died off. While I became the youngest billionaire in the country, I had 2 babies in just 1 year. Our life was so sweet it felt almost unreal. Seeing how great my life was, my brother was consumed with jealousy. On our shared birthday, he set our room on fire and stared at me with a ferocious look. Bro, we're biological brothers from the same parents. Why is your wife such a good luck charm for you? While mine cursed me into this miserable state, when I opened my eyes again, I was back on the marriage arrangement day. My brother spoke up before I could. I want to marry the older sister. I shook my head with a smile and held the hand of the Lin family's younger sister. One of the 2 girls had bright, sparkling eyes. The other had her eyes covered with a black silk ribbon. Looking at the familiar scene and people, I confirmed that I had been reborn. My brother froze for a second too, then he couldn't wait to speak first. I picked the older sister of the Lin family, Lin Wan. Lin Wan lives up to her name perfectly. She's gentle, kind, and generous, and super organized with everything she does. She's perfect to be the lady of the house. Grandma looked at my brother approvingly. He grinned smugly and said, Bro, I'm marrying the older Lin sister. You won't be mad, right? After all, that younger Lin sister looks like bad luck already. Hearing what he said, I was sure he was reborn too. I smiled slightly. Why would I be mad? It doesn't matter who picks whom. Grandma turned to look at me. Luofan, would you like to marry the younger Lin sister, Lin Shu? I answered without hesitation. Yes, I do. My brother let out a mocking snort. Bro, that Lin Shu is a total jinx. If you marry her, you'll probably die without even a proper grave. In my past life, my brother thought Lin Shu was blind, since her eyes were covered with black silk, and thought she'd be fun to mess around with. So he ignored the rumors and married her. But then bad luck kept hitting him non-stop. One disaster right after another. Lin Shu was wearing a black dress. Her voice as cold as ice, frozen for thousands of years. Are you sure you want to marry me? No matter what the consequences are. I grabbed her hand right away. Immediately, a bone-chilling cold spread all over my body. I gritted my teeth. Of course, I will never regret this. Seeing this, my brother laughed smugly again. Bro, looks like your days are numbered. I really can't wait to attend your funeral. Grandma was so mad she hit him with her cane. You little brat, show some respect to your brother. We don't even know if those old rumors are real. How can you say for sure Lin Shu will curse your brother to death? After getting hit on the head, my brother let out a muffled groan, but he still tilted his head defiantly. Wait and see if something happens to him at the wedding then. After my brother's threat, Grandma got a little scared too. Xiaofan, I'm asking you one last time. Are you sure you want to marry Lin Shu? As our fingers intertwined, I felt Lin Shu's body getting colder and colder. It felt like ice piercing right through my bones. Lin Shu said slowly, You can still back out right now. If we get married, you'll never be able to get rid of me ever again. Looking at her eyes wrapped in black silk, I had a strong feeling she could see everything clearly. I held her hand tighter and said loudly without any hesitation, I'm sure I want to marry Lin Shu as my wife. I will never regret this. My brother's mocking laugh came from behind me. I led Lin Shu away with a blank expression on my face. I prepared the wedding all by myself in 3 days. Picked out the wedding dress, invited all the guests, and got everything sorted out perfectly. I did all the dirty and tiring work myself. My brother didn't care about his wedding at all. He still hung out at bars every day, fooling around with random women. He only rushed over on the actual wedding day. Our weddings were held at the same hotel. When Lin Shu walked in, she had gotten plenty of rest, so she looked glowing and radiant. Lin Wan, on the other hand, had been running around preparing her wedding for days and got barely any rest. There were obvious dark circles under her eyes. According to the wedding procedure, my brother and I had to walk towards our brides to personally lead them up to the stage, which symbolizes a happy and prosperous life ahead. Halfway through the walk, my little brother suddenly grinned at me sinisterly. Bro, you are so screwed. Amid the gasps of all the people present, I lifted my head to take a look. The big chandelier on the ceiling was falling rapidly. It was locked onto me like it had a GPS tracker. I tried to move, but my feet felt like they were filled with lead. I couldn't lift them at all. In my past life, My little brother was hit right on the head by a chandelier at his wedding. He had intracranial hemorrhage. His cervical spine was broken, and he was in a coma for 6 months. Despair washed over me like a tidal wave. I closed my eyes. I thought to myself, is there really no way to escape this? The next second, I heard a loud bang. But the expected scene of me getting my head bashed in never happened. I slowly opened my eyes. I found that Uncle Lin, who was supposed to be 5 steps away, was actually standing right next to me, and the chandelier that was supposed to smash into my head actually shattered right at my little brother's feet. He clutched his crushed toes. Gritting his teeth in pain, he pointed at me furiously. "You bastard." "What the hell did you do?" The guests at the scene gasped in shock. Did I see that right? That chandelier actually changed direction. That's way too unreasonable. I spread my hands blankly, to show I had no idea what was going on. My little brother was not ready to let this go. He told the event organizers to pull up the surveillance footage. If I find out who did this, I will definitely break his arms and legs and feed him to the sharks. Soon the surveillance footage was projected onto the big screen. When the chandelier was falling towards me, Uncle Lin moved at a speed that was far from normal and walked over to my side. Because he moved so fast, there was even a motion blur in the footage, and there seemed to be a barrier around her that forced the chandelier to turn around and hit my brother. This bizarre scene made my brother's hooligan friends start yelling curses. "What kind of black magic did you use?" "You bitch, the police should arrest her!" My little brother's face turned deathly pale. He stared at Uncle Lin gloomily. "You must be the one behind this. You bad luck charm. What trick did you pull exactly?" I was also very curious. In my past life, Uncle Lin just watched my brother get hit and sent to the hospital, and did nothing at all. Why would she save me in this life? Uncle Lin was wearing a black wedding dress, with a black satin ribbon covering her eyes as usual. She was clearly blind, but she was facing exactly the direction where my brother stood. Husband and wife are supposed to be one. Of course I can't let anything happen to her. My little brother suddenly realized what was going on. "It really is you, you bitch. You did this." I knew there was a reason the chandelier suddenly hit me. "I will beat you to death." My brother has been a spoiled brat his whole life. He ordered his hooligan friends to slap Uncle Lin across the face. Right as the palm was about to hit Uncle Lin's face, I kicked the person trying to hurt her away and yelled angrily, "You have no right to scold my wife." What's more, this video shows she didn't touch anything at all. It can't prove she was the one who did this. My words were completely airtight. After all, in the surveillance footage, Uncle Lin only ran to my side and didn't make any special moves. That caused my brother's injury, but my brother still couldn't swallow his anger. He immediately threw his luxury car keys on the ground. "Whoever breaks her arms and legs, I will give him a Porsche Panamera." Those hooligan friends immediately went crazy with excitement. They all rolled up their sleeves and surrounded Uncle Lin, all ready for a fight. They started pulling and tearing at Uncle Lin. I tried to stop them, but one person can't fight off so many opponents alone. Soon I was pinned to the ground and couldn't move at all. "Call the police! Hurry up and call the police!" My eyes were red with rage. I roared at the host. "I have already registered my marriage with Uncle Lin. She is my legal wife. I can't let her get hurt. Lu Mingzhou, she is your sister-in-law." I threatened my little brother, but he still acted all careless and casual and didn't show the slightest bit of reaction. I was completely enveloped by deep despair. I closed my eyes, too scared to look at the terrible things that would happen to Uncle Lin. Who knew all the people who tried to attack Uncle Lin were all kicked to the ground by an unknown external force. Then they clutched their dented chests and wailed non-stop. Uncle Lin walked over, kicked away the person holding me down, and helped me up. He whispered in my ear, "I'm fine. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to fight them off." Before I could understand what she meant by that, the police who arrived after getting the call surrounded all of us. After figuring out the truth of what happened, the police took my brother and his deadbeat friends to the hospital and planned to have them interrogated. Though they didn't hurt Uncle Lin, they definitely won't get away without punishment. Before leaving, the younger brother cast furious glances between Uncle Lin and Lin Wan, darting back and forth. Seeing Lin Wan still standing there motionless, he slapped her hard in front of everyone. "Fucking bad luck. Even a blind person is more capable than you. You've got working eyes, might as well be blind. You were supposed to bring wealth and good fortune. We just got married and you already got me crippled." 5 clear fingerprints were left on Lin Wan's face, bright red and glaring. She had been rushing around nonstop for the wedding and got slapped for no reason at all, but she didn't complain a single word. She even humbled herself to coax the younger brother, as if she could accept all his wrongdoings. "I'm sorry, honey. It's all my fault." The younger brother knew Lin Wan was easy to push around. He snorted coldly, shook off her hand, and got into the police car. The younger brother left. The banquet he hosted broke up right after. The guests shook their heads and left. Only Lin Wan was left standing alone under the spotlight, dejected and lonely, still wearing that same smiling expression. I sneered at that idiot brother of mine. He had no idea that this little action of his would make him pay such a terrible price. Rumor has it when the Lin family's twin girls were born, all kinds of strange visions appeared. To the east there was thunder and heavy rain. To the west there were auspicious lucky clouds. A master fortune teller predicted, "One of the two girls brings disaster. The other brings good fortune. If you marry the disaster-bringing girl, bad luck will come for you. Misfortune after misfortune. You could even choke to death drinking water. If you marry the fortune-bringing girl, you will have non-stop good luck. Powerful benefactors will always help you. The kind of luck where you win the lottery just walking outside." The Lin family's doorstep was worn down by suitors coming to propose. If my great-grandfather hadn't saved the Lin family, we wouldn't even have the right to come propose. "Aren't you scared I'm the disaster-bringing girl? That I'll bring you bad luck." When we were about to go all the way on the wedding bed, Uncle Lin suddenly said to me coldly, a cold aura spreading from his body, making me shiver uncontrollably. In my past life, I married her older sister, Lin Wan. She was exactly like the fortune-bringing girl. She made my career skyrocket. My wealth kept growing. I became the richest man and had many children around me. All media outlets were reporting about me, calling me the happiest man in the world. But only I knew how much I had to pay. Behind all of this success, so when my stupid brother picked Uncle Lin first in this life, I was actually relieved, looking at the area below Uncle Lin's dark, silky eyes on his breathtakingly beautiful face. I hugged her and shook my head. The next moment, I fully had Uncle Lin. In the days that followed, we treated each other with respect. Just like a normal married couple, there was a rough stone auction coming up around that time. It was also my chance to turn my life around. The younger brother was our parents' beloved youngest son. Before they died, they left most of the family business to him, leaving me only the useless leftover businesses. So this stone gambling auction was my only chance to turn things around. In my past life, I got an amazing steal thanks to Lin Wan. I also got a lot of investments and skyrocketed to become the richest man. Right when Uncle Lin and I arrived at the venue, we ran into the younger brother and Lin Wan. "Bro, Dad already sent you to that garbage subsidiary. How dare you even show up to a stone gambling event? And with that jinx by your side, you really not scared you'll lose every last penny you have?" The people around immediately burst out laughing. "Yeah, and he brought a blind person with him. So embarrassing." I snorted coldly and slapped the guy who said that. "You can insult me all you want, but if you ever disrespect my wife again, I'll feed your mouth to the dogs tomorrow." Uncle Lin just protected me at the wedding. There's no way I believe she's a jinx. Even though I'm not the favored son, I'm still the eldest young master of the Liu family. That guy was not convinced at all, but he could only swallow his anger. Then I led Uncle Lin to find a seat and sit down soon after. Stones were brought up one after another like an assembly line. Following Lin Wan's hints, the younger brother had already bid on several top-quality stones. Seeing that I hadn't made a move yet, he started mocking me. "That jinx really has no taste. All the ones up there are great quality, and you're not even doing anything. Way worse than my Waner." The younger brother hugged Lin Wan, looking extremely smug. Lin Wan cowered in his arms. With my sharp eyes, I noticed that on her body, covered in purple and blue bruises, there's a little blood at the corner of her mouth. A faint glint flashed in her eyes when she looked at my brother. I was just about to speak, when Uncle Lin suddenly whispered in my ear, "Honey, bid on this stone." I looked up at the stage. It was a dented, bumpy, extremely poor quality stone. This kind of rough stone, even jade gambling experts won't bother cutting open. But Uncle Lin grabbed my hand. Her tone was earnest. "Trust me, honey." I held her ice-cold hand in return, lifted the sign high and yelled, "1,000,000! Laughter immediately erupted all around. Ha ha ha, he actually trusts that blind woman and is bidding on this garbage rock. Even dogs wouldn't want this trash material. Who on earth gave him the nerve to spend 1,000,000 on this useless scrap?" My brother snickered out loud. Bro, I know you're jealous that mom and dad dote on me, but you don't have to go out of your way to get my attention by bidding on some broken rock, right? When we cut it open later, don't cry and beg to swap it. There are rules here. You can't mess around as you please. I smiled and took my Rolls-Royce key off my wrist and slammed it on the table. Want to bet on it? If I lose, this car is yours deal. My brother laughed, like he was looking at a total clown. Bro, you worked your ass off building your business for 2 years to buy this car. It's the most valuable thing you own right now. Instead of keeping it for working capital, you're using it as a bet. You're so reckless with money. I frowned impatiently. Are you in or not? My brother knows I never do anything I'm not sure of. So he hesitated suddenly. Lin Wan pushed him from behind. He gritted his teeth. Fine, I'll bet. I told you Wanner is a lucky charm, she is. But I'm not as petty as you. I'll use the suburban land plot and 20% stake in the branch as my bet. If you lose, you and your wife have to kneel and apologize to me. I waved to my bodyguards behind to draw up the agreement. Then I nodded. Sure, but too bad you don't stand a chance. I'll take all these nice things for myself. Laughter erupted around the room again. Young Master Lu married a blind woman. Did he lose his mind too? This garbage rock is too dirty to even use as a footrest. Second young Master Lu's rock obviously has good jade in it. No wonder Mr. Lu didn't leave the family business to him before he died. With this kind of attitude, he would have wasted it all long ago. The host, who was a friend of mine, tried to persuade me. Young Master Lu, you can cancel the bet before the rocks are cut. Once they're cut, there's no going back. I held Uncle Lin's ice-cold hand and said without hesitation, It's fine, cut it open. The host gave me a disappointed look and cut open both rocks in public. As the rocks were sliced open, my heart was in my throat. Uncle Lin's jade sensing ability isn't as accurate as Lin Wan's. I wasn't sure if I made the right bet. Just then, gasps erupted from all around. Violet, it's Imperial Violet. The icy violet jade on the tray was sparkling and glowing brilliantly. The low-quality Imperial green jade my brother had lost its shine next to the violet jade. It looked just like a regular rock. My brother's face turned pale with rage. He grabbed the host and demanded, Did you guys tamper with it? This useless rock can't possibly have such top-quality jade inside. I want to check the surveillance footage. This is impossible. The security guards in charge came over and restrained my brother. The host pulled free and slammed the monitor screen in my brother's face coldly. Look carefully, second young Master Lu. This raw stone was cut properly. There's no way it's fake. My brother went pale as he went through the surveillance footage over and over again. He threw his phone down in horror. Impossible! I request we keep cutting the rock. My brother tried to calm himself down. His rock is only the size of a bun. Maybe it's just a sandwiched bean seed jade. Mine is this big. It's not fully cut open yet. We can't call the winner yet. I smiled helplessly. My brother is really pulling out all the stops to keep from losing his bet. When my brother saw me smiling, he snapped back to his senses and snorted. Don't get cocky yet. The rock isn't fully cut yet. Even if it's violet jade, if it's only bean seed grade, it won't sell for a high price. But a full piece of Imperial green is worth a huge fortune. I didn't take it seriously and waved my hand. Let's open them all then, but my rough stone can only be ground slowly by machine. Since you're so eager to humiliate yourself, I'll make you admit defeat fair and square. Though the host was confused, he still ground the rough stone open as I insisted. After the rough stone was fully opened, we saw my brother's Imperial green was just dry bean-gray jade, while my rough stone was full purple jade. Oh my god, it's actually full purple. Full purple that's rarely seen in hundreds of years. This single stone alone is already worth over 100 million. Young Master Lu has struck it rich. Second young Master Lu's Imperial green, next to the full purple, is nothing but a piece of useless trash. Second young Master Lu just bet his entire fortune on this. If he really has to pay up, won't he end up homeless on the streets? Listening to the chatter and laughter around me, my brother's face turned pale with rage. He was gnashing his teeth so hard they might break. He tried to sneak away, but was caught by security guards waiting strictly at the door. They forced him to press his fingerprint on the agreement. After I got the complete contract, I smiled with satisfaction. With this money, I can rely on my past life memories to restore the glory of being the richest man back then. I held Uncle Lin's hand and thanked him sincerely. Thank you, Uncle Lin. Uncle Lin leaned against my chest with a faint smile on his lips. This loving scene stung my brother's eyes. He walked slowly up to me, his face twisted with anger, all his muscles trembling. He grabbed Uncle Lin's hand, acting like a total madman. Uncle Lin, why are you helping my brother? Aren't you supposed to be a jinx? Answer me! You're obviously a jinx! Why do you keep helping my brother over and over? He was using so much force. Uncle Lin cried out in pain. I pulled Uncle Lin into my arms to protect him, kicked him away and said coldly, "Get this straight, she's your sister-in-law. What do you think you're doing, touching her like that?" My brother fell to the ground. The corners of his eyes read, "Brother, why do I still get the same ending? Why did you marry a jinx, but still have everything go your way? Why?" He stood up and started punching and kicking Lin Wan. "Aren't you supposed to be a lucky star? Why can't you bring me good luck? Give all your good luck to me, or I'll chop off your hands and feet." Lin Wan covered her head, begging nonstop, but my brother didn't show her any mercy at all. The people around were whispering and pointing. Looks like second young Master Lu did marry a jinx. She not only made him lose a toe at his wedding, but also made him lose all his money and property. The rough stone he picked was appraised by experts earlier. They said it would yield a full piece of full green jade. Who knew it turned out to be bean grade instead? It must be the jinx's fault. The surrounding people's words reached my brother's ears, so he started hitting her even harder. I only glanced at Lin Wan before looking away. My brother had no idea that the Lin family's daughters are not jinxes at all. They're actually lucky stars. What that so-called master said was totally wrong. They're born with good fortune, but they also bring misfortune at the same time. If you marry someone from the Lin family like Uncle Lin, you have to treat them well, give them the best of everything, and take good care of them carefully. If you treat them badly, you'll get back 1,000 or even 10,000 times the harm you caused. Relying on my past life memories, I built 50-story high-rises all over that piece of land. When the high-speed rail opens later, this land is marked for government requisition. Its market value will skyrocket. Not long after, with the demolition compensation and my company shares, I became the richest man in Haishi in one go. I also found out that the mistresses my brother kept outside heard about his embarrassing incident at the auction and came to him asking for breakup fees. In the end, he sold his watches and luxury cars, which barely covered all the fees. He moved to the slums with Lin Wan. He was used to being lazy and not working. Without the flattery from his bad friends, he drank alcohol at home every day and would either beat or scold Lin Wan. Lin Wan found a job, but usually before she even got her salary, my brother would steal it to buy alcohol. Their life was a total mess. I shook my head after hearing all this. If he had treated Lin Wan even half decently, he would never have ended up like this. Too bad he never changed his bad habits. He brought all this suffering on himself. Just then, Uncle Lin pushed open the study door, holding the test report. Her eyebrows lifted happily. "Honey, I think I'm pregnant." "What?" I stared at Lin Shu's belly excitedly. In my past life, Lin Wan couldn't get pregnant for ages. She only managed to get pregnant with medical help. Who knew Lin Shu would be even better than her older sister? I lifted her up high and kissed her on the cheek. "That's amazing, honey. Come home with me later. We'll share this good news with Grandma together." Lin Shu punched my chest lightly. Her eyes were full of sweetness. "Isn't it because you're too good? You wear me out so bad I can't even get out of bed." I held her hand. I felt all warm and fuzzy inside, too. After marrying Lin Shu for a year, I finally understood what real married life is like. Not only do we share the same interests, she also gives me great business advice. She seems cold at first glance, but once you get to know her, she's a soft, cute ragdoll cat who lets you dote on her as much as you want. She wears a black silk blindfold. She looks like she's full of tricks, but she's actually a naive, quiet girl. I thought about my past life with Lin Wan. She seemed gentle and caring, but she was more like a gentle knife. Everything she did for me came with a steep price. Like when she saved me from trouble at our wedding, I had to be respectful to her for my whole life as payback. When she helped me become the richest man, I had to pay for it by never having any heirs. Later, I begged her to have a baby with me. She told me to trade Grandma's life for it. I refused at first, but Grandma agreed to the request after she found out. But sadly, Grandma never got to meet her grandkids before she died. Lin Wan is extremely scheming. She demands 100 or even 1,000 times the return. That's why I never loved her even until I died. Grandma held the prenatal test report. She laughed so hard she cried. "Luofan, Xiaoshu, you two have really fulfilled this old lady's dream. Your grandpa told me before he died. The Liu family's bloodline must not be cut off, and now it finally isn't. Even if I die right now, I can rest in peace. Grandma held Grandpa's memorial tablet, trembling with excitement. I hurried to help Grandma up. Grandma, don't say such unlucky things. Listen to me. Pack up your things now. Come live with me. With this huge family fortune, if my little brother wants to get the upper hand, he'll definitely want a kid to fight for the family fortune. But having that kid would be equal to killing Grandma. Before my little brother comes back, we need to move Grandma away quickly. This life-swapping trick goes against the natural order. If Lin Wan wants to use it, she has to touch Grandma's body. So I won't let her get anywhere near Grandma. Just as I was helping Grandma get into the car, a speeding car slammed straight towards us. At the critical moment, I held Grandma and Lin Shu in my arms, these two most important women in my life. I shielded them tightly against me. Even if the car ran over me, they would only get minor injuries. But unexpectedly, at the last second, Lin Shu suddenly pulled off the black silk blindfold over her eyes. A golden light shot out from her eyes, straight towards the car, forcing the car to turn around abruptly and crashed into the stone pillar at the entrance. The car was totaled on the spot and burst into fierce flames. Just as I was shocked that Lin Shu wasn't actually blind, a person rolled out of the car. It was my little brother. His face was covered in blood. His legs were bent and broken, staring at us fiercely. Why won't you die? Grandma, don't you want a grandson? Lin Wan told me, if you die, she can give our family a big fat grandson. Why won't you die? Luo Fan and Lin Shu, you two go to hell right now. All the family property is mine. My little brother was completely consumed by obsession, only thinking about the family fortune, but with his rotten character, he'll just squander the entire family fortune anyway. Grandma was furious and anxious. She cried bitterly, frustrated by his uselessness. How can you be so stupid, Mingzhou? How could you, just for that little bit of family fortune? Try to run me over with your car. I was also extremely heartbroken. My little brother was naughty as a kid, but he wasn't a bad person at heart. I have no idea how he turned out like this when he grew up. Why would I do that? Ever since we were kids, you've always called me a spoiled brat. If Mom and Dad didn't love me more, he made a will leaving most of the family fortune to me. Otherwise, you old hag would have given it to my brother long ago. I'm gonna run you over and kill you. I'll run every single one of you over to death. All these good days are supposed to be mine. My little brother was already trapped in his own obsession. He wouldn't listen to anyone else at all. I frowned deeply. I was just about to say something. Uncle Lin slapped my little brother hard across the face. You brought all of this on yourself. You're out drinking and fooling around all day. You hit and abused my sister. You deserve this. She pulled off the black silk ribbon, looking stunningly cold and beautiful. My little brother froze for a second, before he realized what was going on. You can see how... Was that you just now? Was this your doing? Uncle Lin kicked his hand away. I was never blind in the first place. These eyes of mine can see into the future, and avoid disasters too. But I can only use this power twice, so I covered my eyes with the black silk ribbon. And you think you can run us over? You're really reaping what you sow. Hatred flashed across my little brother's eyes. He reached out to grab Uncle Lin's ankle. You bitch! You fucking bitch! I should have beaten you two sisters to death if I'd known. All of you are here to ruin my life. I pulled Uncle Lin into my arms and kicked my little brother right in the mouth. Try saying that one more time, I dare you. You could have been the richest man around, but you chose to fool around and waste your life and learn absolutely nothing useful. You even beat and kicked Lin Wan. You brought all of this on yourself. You never think about your own problems. All you do is blame other people. You deserve this end. My little brother's teeth got kicked out. He was crying and cursing incoherently. His eyes were bloodshot. Filled with regret and jealousy, I held Uncle Lin's hand and was about to leave, because whether he lives or dies is none of my business. Grandma's eyes were brimming with tears. She said, unable to bear seeing him like this. Xiao Fan, why don't we save him? He's your own little brother after all. I sighed softly. Grandma, if you return good for evil, you'll only hurt yourself in the end. But if you insist on helping him, just call an ambulance, that's enough. After saying that, I took Uncle Lin to the car first. She seemed to know I was still worried. Uncle Lin patted my hand gently. Don't worry, Grandma's not that muddle-headed. Sure enough, not long after, Grandma came back. Her eyes were red from crying, disappointed at how he never amounted to anything. Luo Fan, your brother's been sent to the hospital. I gave him the family disownment letter. He has nothing to do with the Liu family from now on. I was glad Grandma was so open-minded at her age, but the tear streaks at the corner of her eyes still showed how reluctant she was to let go. I sighed. Don't be sad, Grandma. You still have me and Uncle Lin with you. We'll take good care of you. Grandma leaned against the car window, her gaze melancholy. I know, Xiaofan. Your brother was so crazy that he threw Lin Wan in the trunk. Half her face was burned when we found her. I already had the medical staff send her to the hospital. You arrange for a good doctor for her later, okay? For a woman. Her face is always the most important thing. Uncle Lin frowned slightly. I also had a bad feeling about this. I quickly asked, Grandma, did you come into contact with Uncle Lin? Chopin, you... Why are you asking that? She was crying in the trunk. I heard her, so I pulled her out, but the fire was so big, a patch of skin on my hand got burned. Grandma held out her hand. There was a small charred patch on her wrinkled skin. My heart sank instantly. Grandma, how could you be so muddle-headed? Grandma looked at me, full of confusion. Xiaofan, how can you say that to me? Lin Wan is a human being after all. I can't just leave her to die, can I? Grandma, you know Lin Wan wanted your life, right? I was anxious, so my tone came out a bit harsh. Grandma looked at me, nervous like a little kid. I sighed deeply. My anger faded away and turned into deep guilt. It's my fault I didn't tell Grandma clearly beforehand. That's why she got tricked. But who would have thought? Lin Wan got burned in the trunk and took advantage of Grandma's kindness. I rubbed my head irritably and turned to look at Uncle Lin. Honey, do you have any idea? Uncle Lin's face was grim. He furrowed his brows tightly. My heart sank instantly. Mom and Dad loved my little brother more. They were always lukewarm to me. When I was little, they left me behind at kindergarten. It was Grandma who braved the typhoon to head over, broke her leg picking me up and bringing me home. She couldn't even walk for half a year after that. That's why I rushed to pick up Grandma in this life. I want her to stay with me, surrounded by all her grandchildren, and enjoy her old age in peace. My mind was a total mess. I slammed my fist on the steering wheel. I was going to get out and negotiate terms with Lin Wan. Just then, Uncle Lin stopped me. He let out a heavy sigh. There's only one last chance left. His eyes were glowing with golden light. It looked like he was seeing another timeline. After a long time, the golden glow in his eyes slowly faded. Honey, don't go see her alone. Let's go together. My magic eyes can see the future. My sister is heading to Lumingzhou's hospital right now. I grabbed Uncle Lin's hand gratefully. I told the driver to speed to that hospital. Inside the hospital, Lin Wan was holding her swollen belly and walked into my little brother's ward. My pupils shrank the second I arrived. It's barely been a whole day. How did Lin Wan's belly get this big already? She really did trade Grandma's life for this. I was just about to rush in and grab her when Grandma pulled me back hard. Her wrinkled face was covered in tears. Xiaofan, if the baby in Lin Wan's belly is really from the Liu family, trading my life for a kid is totally worth it. Grandma's gaze drifted to Lin Shu's belly, full of contentment. Your grandpa told me before he died, the Liu family line can't die out. After your parents passed away, I was so hopeless for a while. But now that I get to see you all pregnant, even if I die right now, I can go in peace. The way Grandma was talking like she was leaving her last will made my heart race with panic. I held Grandma's trembling hand. Grandma, that's not going to happen. The fortune teller said, you're going to live to be 100. I won't let these evil spirits take your lifespan away. My gaze was firm. I kicked the ward door open, but the second I looked inside, I was totally shocked. Lin Wan was holding a knife, stabbing it into my little brother's chest over and over. Lin Wan screamed as she stabbed. Die! She repeated it mechanically, like a puppet, but that soft smile was still on her lips. My brother, who was badly injured in the car crash, was screaming for help with all his strength. Bro, save me! This woman is crazy. He raised his hand, ready to slap her across the face like he'd done so many times before to punish her. But Lin Wan grabbed his wrist and twisted it until it was completely deformed. Ah, you crazy bitch! Why are you killing me? My brother's face was twisted in pain, but he still needed to get that answer. Uncle Lin and I stood at a safe distance, watching Lin Wan curiously too. In my past life, Lin Wan was never this crazy, except that she cared too much about getting rewards for her efforts. Just like her name suggests, she was gentle and sweet, never swore, and would cry for half a day even if she stepped on an ant by accident. What made her turn into this crazy person? Gripping the knife handle, Linwen bit her lip and said resentfully, "You don't love me. Why did you choose me? You treated me like crap, beating and scolding me whenever you wanted. You were never a real husband to me. Why didn't you choose my little sister? Like you did in your past life. Let her put up with your garbage. Why did you pick me? Die! Hearing that, I thought to myself, could both sisters have been reborn too? My brother begged. Linwan, I'm sorry. I'm begging you, don't kill me. I'm really sorry. I'll give you everything I have. I'll never hit you or yell at you again. Please, just let me go. But Linwan wasn't listening to a word he said. Soon my brother's voice got weaker and weaker. He died with his eyes wide open, full of regret and fear in his eyes. Grandma, who arrived a second later, saw everything and fainted immediately. Grandma? I hurried to hold Grandma up. I thought Linwan was behind this. So I handed Grandma over to the doctor and grabbed Linwan by the neck. My voice was ice cold. What the hell did you do to my grandma? Give her lifespan back right now. I stared into her eyes. If she dared to play tricks on me, I would definitely kill her. The atmosphere was extremely tense. Lin Shu stood aside anxiously, too, but she didn't stop me. When Lin Wan saw me, she actually looked at me with infatuation. Luofen, I'm reborn, too. I didn't hurt Grandma. I used Lu Mingzhou's life, in exchange for my baby in the womb. In my past life, I didn't figure out my true feelings. I was cold to you, but after I was reborn in the trunk, I got it straight. It's not that I don't like you. I just didn't know how to love someone back then. She pressed her face against my hand obsessively and said lovingly, Now I know what I really want. Will you marry me again? My mind went totally messy after hearing that. That car crash actually made Lin Wan reborn, and she actually likes me. I frowned. Lin Wan being this clingy was something I never dared to imagine in my past life. After we got married in the past life, I used to like her too. I tried to be a good husband. I spoke to her gently all the time, one look from her. And I would bid the highest price to buy all the auction items. If she said she liked something, I would drive hundreds of kilometers to take her to see the starry sky all night. But no matter how thoughtful I was, what I got in return was just Lin Wan saying it was boring. When I talked about our hobbies with her, she said it was no fun. When I talked about romantic stuff with her, she said she was busy. After our 2 kids were born, she used taking care of the kids as an excuse and grew more and more distant from me. Our love just faded away day by day. To outsiders, we were a loving couple, had twins and 1 pregnancy, but in reality our marriage was totally lifeless. So when my little brother burned me to death later, I felt kind of relieved. I finally didn't have to live that boring life with Lin Wan anymore. Lin Shu stared at me nervously. She's quiet and not good with words, but she's terrified of losing me. Hubby, you're mine now! Get lost! Don't steal my husband. I looked at Lin Shu in shock. A warm, sweet feeling rose in my heart. I never expected that quiet Lin Shu would turn against her sister to fight for me. Lin Wan didn't care about her sister's threat at all. She looked at me so lovingly it was almost dripping. Luofen, I really didn't hurt Grandma. Will you get back together with me? I lowered my eyes. Lin Shu clenched her fists. Her expression was tense. Lin Wan lifted her face and smiled smugly. Right at that moment, I threw Lin Wan to the ground coldly, like I was throwing trash away. It's best you didn't hurt Grandma. But remember this. We will only be brother-in-law and sister-in-law. I pulled Lin Shu into my arms. Lin Shu and I are the real married couple. Stop saying nonsense, okay? Since you killed Lu Mingzhou, you will be judged by the law. I'm a traditional man. I only commit to one person my whole life. The night I married Lin Shu, I knew I would only belong to her forever. As for Lin Wan, she's long been the past. I have no feelings for her anymore. The police arrived soon and put handcuffs on Lin Wan. Lin Wan cried before she was taken away. She pulled on my sleeve. Luofen, if you don't love me, why did you rush to the hospital to see me? You still care about me deep down, right? I shook off her hand. I only came to question you if you hurt Grandma. As for you, who cares? Under Lin Wan's desperate gaze, Lin Shu and I walked to Grandma's ward hand in hand. Lin Wan's regretful shouts came from outside the door. Luofan, hubby, I'm sorry. I was being stupid. Forgive me. I know what my heart wants now. I'll never be cold to you again. Forgive me, please. Let's live a good life together, hubby. I'll never plot against you again. Forgive me, I was wrong. Her confession faded as she was taken away, until it disappeared completely. Linshu grew more and more nervous as she listened, and wrapped her small hands tightly around my waist, as if she was afraid I would disappear. Honey? Why does my sister call you that? I'm scared, I'm so scared you'll leave me. Honey? Why does my sister call you that? I'm scared, I'm so scared you'll leave me. My sister has always acted all soft-spoken since we were little, then stole my friends and belongings one by one. I'm scared you'll be taken by her too. I froze for a second. Turns out Linshu felt so insecure. So I told her what happened to me in my past life. Linshu's face turned pale after hearing that, and hugged my waist even tighter, her voice choking with sobs. Honey, you must have been in so much pain when you burned to death, right? I'll make that looming Joe suffer a fate worse than death. How dare he treat you like that in this life? I will definitely protect you well, and won't let you get hurt at all. She lifted her teary little face from my arms. I kissed the tears off her face, and comforted her softly. All that is in the past. I'm fine now, aren't I? Don't worry, honey. I'll never leave you in this lifetime. I'll never leave my little crybaby, I said as I tapped Linshu's nose lightly. She finally stopped crying and smiled. The noise we made woke Grandma up. The first thing Grandma did when she woke up was look out the window. My younger brother's body was carried onto the vehicle, and was about to be sent to the crematorium. When she was unconscious, Grandma probably heard everything that happened in the ward. She let out a long sigh. Tears of regret glistened in the corners of her eyes. Jingqun Xingfang, you spoiled that little monster rotten, and now he lost his life for nothing. Yingzhou, my little grandson, how did you get more foolish as you grew up? Grandma pounded the hospital bed to let out her mixed feelings. Linshu and I exchanged a look, and hurried over to comfort her. On the day Linshu gave birth, the verdict for Lin Wan's case also came out. She was sentenced to death for intentional homicide. Since she had just given birth, her death sentence was suspended for 2 years. Grandma took that child in to raise. After all, he is also part of the Liu family. Seeing how happy Grandma was, I didn't have the heart to say anything. Linshu gave birth to a daughter. I named her Xingyuan. I hope she has a smooth life, is blessed with good luck, and achieves all her goals. The 3 of us will live happily forever after.